The NFL Draft is getting underway on Thursday. We have been previewing it literally for weeks, several weeks. We've talked to dozens of draft prospects. This one right here is one of the most interesting of all. A former Alabama offensive tackle, a national champion, a consensus All-American, a team captain, a 3-year starter. If you went to Bama and you have all of that attached to your name, you have a lot going for you. We are joined right now by Evan Neal. Evan, it's really good to have you on. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you for having me on.
It is so good to have you on. So listen, I know you're about a week away. I'm kind of curious, what's it all feel like? Like you're putting in the time, you're this close to having your dream becoming a reality. Does it feel pretty natural and like business is business, or does it seem even to you a little bit surreal?
I can say a little bit of both. Definitely feels like natural, routine, business is business, but also like seeing my dreams, like everything I've dreamed about since I was a kid, like coming to fruition, like right in front of my face. Like it's pretty crazy. Like sometimes I have to like pinch myself, you know. So it's definitely a blessing for sure.
Evan Neal joining me. Excuse me. I was going to say, you come from a big athletic family, and you've made that point, and I agree with it. For instance, your dad played football at Tulane. Two of your uncles, Cleveland Gary and Jimmy Jones, played at Miami and in the NFL. So what was it like to grow up in a family like that, and were you into football from the very start?
Oh yeah, I was into football as soon as I understood what football was, for sure. Like, and it was also like very competitive. Like just growing up and hearing their stories, like their football stories, and just how competitive it was, and like hearing their success, like it made me want to have some of that of my own. So it definitely like kind of motivated me and pushed me.
I'm talking to Evan Neal. He's getting ready for the NFL Draft. So last summer, Nick Saban told Bruce Feldman of The Athletic something amazing about you. This is a quote. He's a bit of a perfectionist in terms of how he goes about things. He's also got good intangibles. He plays with good toughness. He's got mental toughness. Listen, I don't hear Nick Saban say that about a lot of different guys. What was it like to play for him, and what was your time with Nick Saban like?
It definitely was a challenge, but a challenge that made me better for sure. Like it made me tougher, made me more disciplined, and it just overall just made me a better player. And I also, helped develop my character as well. Just coming in, having to earn a spot, being a young guy, nothing being given to you, and being expected to perform at a certain level, day in and day out. Definitely brings its challenges, but it's something that I'm thankful for, for sure. I owe a lot to Coach Saban in Alabama, but definitely helped mold me and shape me into the player I am today.
Evan Neal is joining us. Listen, talking to you right now, I can tell you're a pretty even-keeled guy, but you've also said that what you like about playing offensive line is you can take out your stress, right? You can pancake somebody for cutting you, but you can't do that in real life, but you can on the football field. How does that work? You sound really even-keeled right now, but do you throw a switch and become somebody else when you step on the field? How does that work?
Well, you got to be able to flip the switch, man. Like, I'm a big, huge, imposing guy, man. I don't want to be so aggressive off the field, man. People are going to be scared of me. People are not going to be around me, man. That's not good. But definitely on the field, I definitely like to just flip the switch. And, that's when I'm turning into a gladiator, turning into football mode, and time to do my job.
Evan, that is such a good answer, what you just said, that you are a big, intimidating, imposing dude. You don't want people to be afraid of you off the field, but you got a job to do on it. Here's the thing. For those who don't know, I have a really hard time personally believing that you go 337, because most people who weigh 337 look a little heavy, maybe even a little overweight. Dude, you look really lean. As an example, your teammate Christian Harris said, quote, he's a monster and not human. Like, how do you explain that, and what kind of fuel are you running on? What's your diet like?
Well, my diets pretty much have been just like lean meat, like chicken, steak, rotisserie chicken, like these leafy green vegetables, like spinach, broccoli, like rice, beans, different proteins. Try to stay away from a lot of carbs and stuff. Like, it has been all perfect for sure, but like I've been blessed with with great genetics from my parents and a big frame to be able to carry such mass the way I do, for sure.
So you're feeding that thing with the right fuel. That is a lean, mean 337. Evan Neal is my guest. So I had former Georgia offensive lineman Jamari Sawyer on the program yesterday. We talked about how playing in the SEC prepared him for the NFL. He was really big on that point. You started for 3 years in the SEC. How would you describe the battles in the trenches over those 3 years and how well they prepared you for Sundays?
Like, a lot of those guys that I faced are already playing on Sundays, like every day in practice, like going against guys like Raekwon Davis, Christian Barmore. Even my freshman year, whenever I was playing, I saw that guard going to get a guy like Derek Brown, who was the first-round draft choice. So just I was already seeing those guys at that level, playing at such a high, intense level, for sure in the SEC West. It definitely kind of gives you like a bird's eye view on the kind of what it's going to be like in the NFL.
Evan Neal is my guest. So it's in your family. You grew up with it, and you've always been a big dude. You were a big dude in high school, in fact. But there's a story that back when you were at the IMG Academy, you bumped into Brian Balogun one day in the weight room, and legend has it he gave you some advice about what it takes to play in the NFL from a physical standpoint, a fitness standpoint. What do you remember about that day, and what did he tell you?
Yeah, I just remember seeing him in the training room, and he was talking to a couple of players, and I walked up. And I guess he saw me and pretty much told me, because I was just a big guy, and I didn't carry my weight, back then as well as I do now. And I was, heavier. At the time, I was probably around like 385, probably somewhere around that, somewhere. And he just kind of told me that, if he was the NFL GM, he wouldn't draft me, because I was too big. And that kind of really it kind of scared me, and it really resonated with me, because it let me know how much work that I had to do. And I can definitely say it kind of, sparked the fire in me, for sure.
To me, what's really important about that is, one, he took the time to tell you that, but number two, that you took that information and that's what you did with it, rather than get, kind of bent or having it go in one ear and out the other, that you actually took that really seriously and it resonated. That tells me something. Then, of course, you got that famous split box jump that went viral last summer. One of the freakiest things I've ever seen in my life. When did you do that? And when it got the reaction that it did, did that kind of blow your mind, or were you like, dude, this is just what we do. This is normal?
Right. We did that over the summer. I think it was like sometime around July, so getting closer to fall camp. And we would always do plyo box jumps like that, but, not everyone would go as high. And Doc kind of challenged me, to hit the 48 boxes. So I pretty much just did it. And whenever I posted it, I had no idea that I was going to get the type of traction that it did. I posted it because I thought it was cool, for sure. So it was pretty cool to see, for sure.
It was cool. It was very cool, and everybody thought so. I mentioned Nick Saban, so I'm guessing since you went through that program, maybe you're not looking at the mock drafts that he might convince you that's rat poison. You don't want to see that. But if you thought about it, what would it mean to you to go first overall on Thursday night if that were to happen?
That'd be a tremendous blessing, to be an offensive lineman, to go number one overall, from a small town like Okeechobee, Florida, and also, being the first overall pick, in 74 years for state Alabama, that'd be amazing, for sure. It'd be a dream come true. But wherever I get drafted, wherever I go, will definitely be a blessing and something that I'll be thankful for forever.